Hi everyone, my name's Scott. Welcome to Planes, Trains, Everything, and welcome to Glasgow Central Station. Today I'm going to start timetable challenge number 4. If you haven't seen the first 3 challenges, I'll put links below. They are good fun to watch, but very stressful for me, because something could very well go pear-shaped. And today's is going to be a real challenge. Today I'm going to be travelling from Glasgow down to Warrington, Quay, Chester, Holyhead, Dublin, Belfast, Cairnryan, back to Glasgow. Can that be done in 24 hours? Well, on paper, yes. 23 hours and 55 minutes, believe it or not. But it could go seriously pear-shaped in Dublin, and I'll explain to you why later. In fact, to make it all official, and I love my props, I have a stopwatch. So when I'm on my Avanti West Coast train, it doesn't matter whether it's trundling out of the station or sitting at the platform doing nothing, at 16:40, this button gets pressed to make it all official. In fact, I thought it was over before it had started. I'd received an email from Avanti West Coast saying, "Hey, we're looking forward to seeing you, but your travel plans have changed." And I thought, oh no, it's gone pear-shaped before I even got out of Glasgow Central. But apparently there's an RMT union dispute, there's no catering. So keeping that in mind, I might go and get a coffee now, because I'm going to be on the road, I'm going to be moving for 24 hours. I don't know when I'll next have a chance to get a coffee. And being the black sheep of the family, that means just one thing.
Do you mind going back?
I think you can. Yeah, go on.
I'll try it.
You think you know someone?
I think you know someone. These are. I think I'll be good. I'm going to take it. It's called Silence of the Lambs. What's the main character?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just me. And we made it to Warrington Quay. Quite a nice journey up until Preston. Then I don't know what happened. There was about 8 ladies who came on, all with walking sticks and enormous wheelie bags, all looking for seats. I think that they were coming from somewhere. That train had been cancelled, and so they were running late, and basically they just jumped on our train hoping to find seats. It was carnage. Train's on time, the stopwatch is still ticking away, and I've got about an hour to kill here before my next train to Chester. When I looked at this on, I think it was either Avanti or on Travel Line, it suggested I change to platform 1 and catch the train to Chester with about a 7-minute connection, and I thought, not 7 minutes, no thanks. So I've now got an hour's connection. I would rather have too much than too little, because this isn't Switzerland after all. And it doesn't really matter what trains I catch, because I still have the same ferry to catch from Holyhead on to Dublin. So I may as well do it relaxed. So I've got an hour to kill here at beautiful Warrington Quay, and I'll see you when we get on board our train to Chester. And we've made it to Chester 5 minutes early. All these things you hear about Northern aren't true. Talk about punctual, wow. Right, I've got an hour to kill here. As I mentioned before, I'd rather have too much time than not enough. And no matter what trains I catch, they all connect with the same ferry from Holyhead to Dublin. So I may as well chill and relax and take my time. What I would like to do is just mention why I've caught these particular trains. It's all to do with the crossing between Cairnryan and Belfast. Between Belfast and Cairnryan there are 5 ferries. and 5 ferries back. That's a total of 10 possibilities. 5 go clockwise, 5 go anti-clockwise. But only one allowed that entire journey, which I'm doing now, to be done within 24 hours, and that's why I left Glasgow at 16:40. That is the reason why. Right, I've got an hour to kill here at Chester. You know, I've never been to Chester station before. I've been through it a few times, never actually stopped here. It's quite interesting. I heard an announcement about Holyhead now leaving from platform 3A. I spoke to one of the security guards, and while I was speaking to him, this train pulled in, which I think is the 22:13 to Holyhead from platform 4B, which is the one I should be catching. I guess I'm going to find out.
Llanfairpwll, Bangor, Rosnaiga and Holyhead, with request of the guard at Llanfairpwll, Port Organ to Croydon Valley. This is the 22:13 service for stations to Holyhead.
Welcome on board Transport for Wales. We will be travelling to Holyhead. We will be travelling to Holyhead only. The next station will be our final stop.
We're running about 10 minutes late, not a problem because I still have a 2-hour buffer at Holyhead for the ferry. Well, that was an interesting journey for all the wrong reasons. It was nice and quiet until we got to Colwyn Bay. Then the train was absolutely packed full of drunk middle-aged men. From what I could gather, they were celebrating a victory. I don't know if it was a football team or a rugby team, but this was obviously the last train home, and they made the most of it. Wow, what a racket, and you should have seen the state of the place afterwards. We got to Llandudno Junction and an announcement was made that we would have to be sitting there for 10 minutes while an Avanti train passed us. That was getting priority to Holyhead. You could change and catch that one if you wanted to. So I got off along with all the drunk guys, and then I thought, wait a minute, my ticket's valid for Transport for Wales only. If I try and get on Avanti and they've got a ticket inspector, I'm up for a penalty fare. So I got back on along with most of the drunk guys. Anyway, they all got off at Bangor and Serenity returned back to the train. Anyway, we're here 10 minutes, 15 minutes late now. I've still got the best part of 2 hours to kill here, and then we'll get on our ferry to Dublin. Well, I've got nothing else to do. I was going to go out for a walk and a guy stopped me and says, don't bother going into Holyhead, there's nothing to see. Okay, I'll stay here at the terminal. A few years ago I caught the overnight ferry from Dublin to Holyhead and it was absolutely empty. It was like the Mary Celeste. And I kind of pictured this ferry service would be the same. It was actually pretty busy. I reckon there's probably 100 to 150 foot passengers, and that's actually a bad thing because I wanted to make a sharp exit at Dublin because I've got a 55-minute connection from the time we're due to arrive at the ferry terminal to get to Custom House Quay bus stop for the bus up to Belfast. That's why things could go pear-shaped at Dublin. So I was hoping to make a sharp exit and hopefully trying to get a taxi, but this could be tricky. I guess we'll find out in approximately 3 hours. Ports are a bit funny when it comes to photography, so I didn't film anything coming into the ferry itself. We boarded a bus, which makes me think that we'll be boarding a bus at the Dublin end as well. 55 minutes, I think I'm going to be struggling to get to this bus stop. but this will make up for it. My priority once I got on board was to have something to eat because I was starving. 2:30 in the morning, a breakfast bap and a coffee. A bit heavy, but it had to be done. Okay, on arrival at Dublin, I have 55 minutes to get from the Stena terminal to Custom House Quay, where the bus stop is for the bus up to Belfast. 55 minutes. And I reckon I've got 4 scenarios. Scenario number 1, ferry arrives on time and there are taxis. Number 2, the ferry arrives on time and there are no taxis, but based on my calculations I could probably walk it. Scenario number 3, the ferry arrives late and there are taxis, I can still make it. And scenario number 4, the ferry arrives late and there are no taxis, and then I am totally snookered. As it turned out, we actually left Holyhead about 10 minutes early, so that might come in useful at the Dublin end. What's worrying me is the fact that there's a lot of foot passengers in there who may want to get a taxi on arrival in Dublin, and the fact that we all have to jump on a bus to get out of the port area. So this is all going to take up a bit of time. I'm a little bit worried because I don't have a plan B. I guess we're going to find out shortly. Well, I can confirm I'm the only person out here, and that's because I'm an idiot. It's absolutely freezing, so I'm going to get back in. Oof. Well, this is deck 9, and this is where all the cabins are. I'm not sure if it's worth it actually, because you're only going to be here for about 3 hours, and then you're in Dublin. Yeah, it's a bit quiet. I don't think many people have taken up the offer of a cabin. This is the living room. It's very nice. You know, sometimes these so-called duty-free shops take the absolute mick. I was just looking at some prices there. A tube of Pringles, for example, at my local Morrison's, £1.50. Here in the duty-free shop, £3. Work that one out. A carton of cigarettes, £60 there. Same ones at Dublin Airport duty-free, the equivalent of about £39. I wonder what this is used for. Right, I'm marching into the city centre. There was one taxi there and it was grabbed by a couple of girls ahead of me. There is a double-decker bus there, but I had a look at the timetable before I left home, and by the time it makes it into the city centre, I've got about 5 minutes to get from one side of the Liffey a couple of blocks up to where this Custom House Quay bus stop is. Getting off that ferry was a nightmare. It arrived on time. We stood there for 10 minutes. Another 5 to get off the ferry in this coach. So I've now got about 30, if I'm lucky, 35 minutes to get into the city centre, and that is cutting it fine. But at least I'm heading in. And I guess I'm in charge of my own destiny now. Will I make this or not? This is going to be too close for comfort, so I've decided to start running a little bit. This is crazy. Guess who's out of condition? 25 minutes. Not sure if I'm going to do this or not. Oh. That's me out of the port area now, running down to the river, and then to do a right turn. Geez, oh, 10 minutes to go, and way up there I think I can see the bus stop. There is possibly a bus there already, but it won't be here until it's due time, which is 6:25 in the morning. Right, one final push. Well, I made it on the dot. I've gotten to the bus stop, which is appearing on the confirmation, but the bus number doesn't appear on that sign. Oh dear. I just hope for the best that they stop when they come past. There's a Dublin Express bus that's just stopped at the bus stop up there, but this is definitely the bus stop according to their map. Don't let me fail now, please don't let me fail. As I was running past the bus stops down there, none of them showed this 785, I think it is I'm looking for. 785, yeah. None of them show bus service 785 stopping anywhere along this road. So I'm really hoping this is the right place. Please. Well, the driver went right past me. I did do a praying gesture as well and flapped my confirmation, but he totally ignored me. Right, so it looks as if this has been an epic fail. Of all the things that could have gone wrong with this challenge, I didn't expect this little bit to be the problem. I thought getting to the bus stop would have been the problem, but I made it. Why am I tired? But I made it. Right, there is no plan B, so I'm going to try and work out where the buses leave from to go to the airport, because I think I've only got two options here. Yeah, there are two options. Option number one, declare the challenge a fail, catch the next bus to Belfast, which isn't for about 4 hours, catch the connecting ferry on the Cairn Ryan, and then the connecting bus on to Glasgow. I will get home at about 10 o'clock tonight, around about 6 hours later than planned. Or the second option is to declare this challenge a fail, catch the bus to the airport, and then get a flight back to Blighty. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. And there's a airport bus there. Where's that stop? Well, I got on the airport bus. The look from the driver when he asked if I had a ticket and I said no, I'd have to buy one, was the kind of look you give your shoe when you find there's something stuck on it. While I was on the ferry, I was looking at possibilities of what if it goes pear-shaped in Dublin, which I did predict. Not for the reason that I expected though. So to the airport, coffee, maybe a breakfast, and then flying back. Well, it wasn't all bad news. It didn't rain as predicted. Anyway, I was having my coffee. You need a good coffee at 7:30 in the morning, and I was doing a bit of a post-mortem to see what went wrong. And it wasn't actually Dublin Express's fault. It was Google Maps. I was using Google on my phone to find the shortest way from the Stena ferry terminal to the bus stop. And Google Maps, good old Google Maps, showed the actual bus stop 2 blocks away from where it actually was. And Customs House, where the bus actually left from, 1 block away from where it actually was. And so that's why, gasping for breath, I actually stopped at the wrong place, looked up the road, saw what looked like another bus, and sure enough that was it. These things happen, but This is why I don't like Google Maps. You cannot trust them. Anyway, I have booked a flight to get home. 3 days ago I actually looked into this just in case, and a one-way fare from Dublin to Edinburgh with Ryanair was 35 euros. The fare today, day of travel, 230 euros. They're a bunch of bandits. So the cheapest fare I've been able to find is with Aer Lingus. It leaves in about 6 hours. It is directly to Glasgow, and it leaves from this very impressive Terminal 2.
When stowing your cabin baggage, please use the space in the overhead bins for larger items. Smaller items such as handbags and laptop bags should be stowed in the area underneath the seat in front of you. If you are seated at an emergency exit row,
and we made it to Glasgow Airport, finally. Oh, I'm so tired. You know, 24 hours ago at Glasgow Central, if you said this adventure would end up at Glasgow Airport, I would have said, no, it won't. In fact, was it 24 hours ago? Let's have a look, because the stopwatch is actually still running. 24 hours, 35 minutes and 52 seconds. I think we can stop that now. Yeah, well, that was a fail. The problem, as I mentioned earlier, was the confirmation for the Dublin to Belfast bus did have a map on it showing the exact location of the bus stop. It was a very small map and only showed the surrounding streets. I wasn't going to be walking, or in fact running, from the Stena Line terminal into the city centre using that. I was using Google Maps, and that's where I went wrong. I'm not a great fan of Google Maps. I'm certainly not a great fan now, but it made an entertaining video and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.